Hello and welcome to today's webinar, What's Next on the Workiva AI Roadmap for 2026. At the bottom of your screen are multiple application engagement tools that you can use. All the engagement tools are resizable and movable, so feel free to move them around to get the most out of your desktop space. If you have any questions at any point in the presentation today, please share them with us. Using the Q&A panel, input your questions, and Kevin or I will do our best to respond in the time allotted today. Anything we're unable to answer today, we will be sure to follow up post-event. Quick introductions. I'm Jonna Morris, Director of Platform Product Marketing for Workiva AI, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by Kevin Walker, a Senior Product Manager on the Workiva AI team. And before we begin, what we share today is confidential and reflects our current plans and priorities, shared for informational purposes only and not as a binding commitment. The development, release, and timing of features remains at Workiva's sole discretion. But let's get into the fun stuff. So our investments across our Workiva AI portfolio are grounded in three core priorities that ensure we focus on the biggest opportunities to accelerate your performance. The first is agentic augmentation. Think of this as AI that automates complex, manual tasks while keeping you in control. For you, that means less time spent assembling reports and more time interpreting results and driving strategy. You'll see faster reporting cycles and higher confidence and accuracy. The second is contextual intelligence. Think of this as AI that's embedded throughout your workflows and grounded in your own trusted data. It understands what you're working on and where that data comes from, so the insights you receive are relevant and reliable. For you, that means less time with manual data reconciliation and more time spent acting on insight instead of chasing it. And last, we have trusted AI governance, ensuring every capability is transparent, auditable, and secure. You can trace how AI-generated outputs were created, maintaining the same level of control you expect from Workiva today. That means innovation without risk to integrity or compliance. And together, it's these three priorities that let us advance AI responsibly and give you immediate productivity gains without compromising trust or accuracy. And our packaging model follows that same philosophy. Innovation that's embedded where it adds value and structured where it adds depth. We believe a modern platform should inherently help you work faster, smarter, and more collaboratively across everything that you do. And that's why we built a set of intelligent platform capabilities, right? AI-powered features like the Workiva AI Intelligent Companion that you can access globally and in context, the prompt library, file intelligence, and support intelligence. These features are embedded as part of the platform experience. Side note, pending you accept our AI terms of use. They enhance the actions you already take each day by bringing speed, accuracy, and consistency to the way you create, review, and collaborate, all within the same secure, governed environment you trust. We also recognize, though, that many of you are tackling highly specific manual processes that traditional software alone just can't solve for. So with advances in AI, we now apply it directly to those pain points throughout our advanced AI packages. The first is Intelligent Finance for financial reporting solutions and workflows. We also have Intelligent GRC for audit and risk solutions and workflows. And lastly, Intelligent Sustainability for, you guessed it, sustainability management solutions and workflows. These packages bring fit-for-purpose AI into your solutions, helping you research and generate insights from real-time SEC filing data, design and document controls, or even align disclosures to evolving sustainability standards. They're available within specific Workiva solutions and premium tiers, and your account team can help you understand which packages include them and what it looks like to enable them. In short, every Workiva customer benefits from the intelligence embedded in the platform, and teams ready for deeper automation can extend that value through our advanced AI packages built for their specific needs. So with that foundation, let's take a look now at how Workiva AI continues to evolve. So what's available today, what's coming next, and where we're headed over the longer term. And we'll start, of course, with recent innovations released over the last 2 quarters. In this period, we focus on making Workiva AI more contextually aware of what you're working on and accelerating the automation of manual laden tasks, so you can assist with greater precision, relevance, and speed. You'll see this in enhanced companion experiences, extended file intelligence, new third-party data integrations, and powerful capabilities across finance, GRC, and sustainability. And together, these innovations show how Workiva AI is becoming more contextual, right? More connected to the work you're doing and more collaborative on your day-to-day needs, helping every team work faster and with greater confidence. But instead of me talking about them, Kevin, I'm going to pass it to you so you can show us some of these innovations in action.
Thanks, Jonna. Welcome, everybody. My name is Kevin Walker. I'm a senior product manager here at Workiva. I've worked here for 9 years, all across the platform, and it's my job to make sure that what we're building is the right thing for you. And I work hand in hand with the design and engineering team who quite literally write the code for everything you're about to see today. And so I'm excited to give you a sneak peek into what we've been working on, as well as what we have coming up next. So for the latest innovations, I'm going to have a demo here. I'm going to walk through a few of these to you. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Excellent. So here I am within the Workiva platform. This is a sustainability workspace. Now, this could be a financial reporting workspace or a GRC workspace as well, or any number of our other workspaces. If you have access to Workiva AI, you'll find it up here in the top right corner. And you'll also find it in other areas of the platform. Just look for the sparkles. One of the latest innovations we've released is the ability to bring more of your files into collaboration with Workiva AI. Previously, we had the ability for you to right-click and ask Workiva AI about documents. I can send a message here, and you'll start seeing that you'll see a response that tells me about this file. We know our customer, you have your files not all in Workiva. Some of them are in PDFs, some of them are docx files, and maybe even images. Well, I'm excited to show that you can now right-click these as well and ask Workiva AI about additional file types that are not Workiva specific, such as the CSRD policymaking timeline. I can now say, ask Workiva to tell me about it. And this allows you to bring more of your knowledge from your work, from your organization into collaboration with Workiva AI so that you don't have to explain so much to it about what it is that you're collaborating on. The next feature I'm excited to demo for you is our all-new document companion. Now, this is something we launched at Amplify in 2025, but it's worth highlighting again because there are some additional improvements. So the first is that, like our global companion, it has the ability to reference documents as well as other file types. But when I use the document companion, it already knows what document is open, so I don't have to reference it. I can simply say, tell me about this file. And it automatically references this file. I can bring in additional file types like you saw previously, prompts, knowledge bases, and other features that we've launched as well here. The key thing I wanted to demo that we've recently released here in the early parts of 2026 is the ability to use Workiva AI on WData. So WData is a feature that allows you to pull data in from your other enterprise systems so that you can use that data directly in Workiva. And as you can see on this table here, this table's data comes from a spreadsheet, and it's linked there. Here's the data that is backing that spreadsheet, that table you saw on the document. And you can see that this is a roll-up of this section here of emissions data. And all of this emissions data you can see is via a data connected sheet. And a data connected sheet means that this data is provided from WData. If I open over here on the right-hand side, I can see that this data, I can click this drop-down, and it brings me to the WData query that does a query that pulls data on a routine basis from the emissions database that we have outside of the Workiva platform. And what I need to do now is I need to roll this SQL query forward to include 20-year data for 2023 and 2024. But as with most people, I'm not entirely sure how to write SQL to make this change. SQL is something that we often look for somebody else who has the knowledge to help with, or if you do have the knowledge to make this change yourself, you can make the change. But what I wanted to share with you is that Workiva AI Companion is now within the WData experience, and I can simply ask it to make the update. So I say, can you please update this to years 2023 and 2024? And it will look at what is written in the SQL query, and it will rewrite what needs to be changed in order for this SQL query to be updated. Now all I need to do is say, hit insert and hit run, and you'll see that the query now only includes data from 2023 and 2024. Let's go ahead and save that. If I hop back over to my spreadsheet, the connected data source here, I just have to click refresh incoming connection to allow that new data query to flow in so that the data is up to date. You can see that it currently says 2022 and 2023, and now it's updated to 2023 and 2024. The data in my roll-up table now says 2023 and 2024 with unpublished links. I'll put this side by side so we can see it update to get in real time. I'm gonna hit publish. And now the data in my document is up to date with the latest 2023 and 2024 numbers in W data. So those are some of the features I'm excited to demo for you. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So that was the file intelligence enhancements. We also have the W data companion enhancements. The next feature I want to demo for you is called SEC filing intelligence. This is an ability for you to search and analyze all the last 3 years of SEC filings directly in Workiva, so you don't have to switch to third-party tools to get this. So for example, if I hop back down to my sustainability document, at the very bottom, I have a section called peer research. And as with many financial reporting teams, researching what your peers have disclosed before you write your next report helps with deciding whether to include new topics or to adjust language to meet investors' expectations of the team. So in this case, we're going to say, does any of my peers disclose sustainability strategy in their annual report? And do they disclose progress against it? If I go down to the right-hand corner in a document, you'll now see this feature called Intelligent Finance. This is the access point to do deep research on SEC filings. I have the ability to compare content, language, and structure of my disclosure to my peers, or define my own goal. We're going to define my own goal here. Next is to go ahead and pick the company group that I want to do research against. These are company groups, so I can hit device manufacturer peer group. And if I want to create a new peer group, I can by clicking this button. This manufacturing group includes Alphabet for Google, Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft. I'm going to switch the filing dates to the last year and only focus on 10Ks. Here it's letting me select which 10Ks I actually want to audit against. So here's Alphabet's. We'll start with one. Yeah, let's do Apple's first. Now from here, I can just ask my question. Now what this is going to do is this is doing deep analysis on the report that was published by this company for that 10K period, which would be Alphabet or Apple, and it's going to give me an answer to my question. Now, once I get the response, I'll have the ability to insert this into my documents and use it for ongoing context to work with, to give my team understanding of what the company answered, as well as give AI the ability to understand it within the context of the larger file. If I wanted to switch and do the same thing for Microsoft, I can go here and hit Adjust Filters. Hit Submit. Click Microsoft. And confirm, and ask the same question. And when I get a response, I can go ahead and insert this back in. This allows me to offload the tedious, mentally taxing work of doing SEC filing research to AI, as opposed to having to read these files myself and extract the insights that I'm looking for from within the filings. There we are. Go ahead and insert. And one of the things I want you to notice is that when we insert the content here, we convert the content directly over to the style guides of the document so that it continues to look great. So hopping back over to the next here, we have another feature called ISSB intelligence. This feature works just like SEC filing intelligence, except it allows me to do deep research against the latest ISSB standards right within the Workiva environment. This helps you generate insights and analysis around the ISSB standards using natural language queries. If you hop back over to the sustainability workspace, you'll see the Sustainability Explorer is a place where you can go and do this research yourself. Now, for example, like ESRS is in here. You can do deep research yourself. But now all I need to do is just start with a fresh chat. I can go down to the bottom of a chat and hit selection to knowledge base, ISSB, and I can say things like, how does my report compare against the ISSB standards? This is now giving Workiva AI the entirety of my sustainability report, and it's comparing it to the standards outlined in the ISSB knowledge base. And you can see it's doing multiple searches. And it says that my current report is highly aligned. However, there are some areas where additional disclosures could be enhanced. Excuse me. And so it gives me guidance on what I could do to make my report stronger. And at the very bottom, it'll continue to fill out this report, this response, and it'll give me sources that will drive right back to the ISSB reporting framework to have as citations for all of its recommendations. At the very bottom here, you'll see. There we go. We have 50 different sources that I can navigate to. Now, the same thing is true. We've done the same thing for ESRS. So I can add ESRS as a knowledge base as well and say, thank you. Can you now audit my report against ESRS standards? And it can get you the same point of view. Now, it'll respond very similarly, so I'm going to hop back over here. And then you can see that ESRS was the very next feature that I wanted to demo. Now, moving out of sustainability and financial reporting, I want to demonstrate just two new features for intelligent GRC. The first is called risk and control intelligence. So risk and control intelligence, if I hop over to the demo, is the ability to navigate over to your controls list view in GRC and open up the Workiva AI Companion, and you can select Add, Knowledge Base, Risk and Controls. What this does is that this gives Workiva AI the entirety of your risk and control matrix to help you find and do analysis on your entire risk and control matrix for any sort of gaps you're looking for. So one thing I like to check for is if I have any duplicative controls. That way I can reduce the amount of testing that I have to do in the long term. So please analyze my risk and control matrix to identify any controls that seem duplicative and outline next steps to consolidate. By sending this prompt, it's going to review all of the risks and all the controls and give me an answer and response and how to respond. You can see here in real time, it's giving you some insights of what it's doing as it's doing this process so that you have some clarity around how it's answering this problem. Now, while it's running, I'm going to go ahead and close this. This can run in the background. I wanted to share that we also have the ability to do a flowchart visualizer. Now, this is a very powerful feature. As you know, controls are often placed within what are called processes, so like accounts payable and expenses. Processes are what businesses use to ensure the proper flow of business requirements, such as accounts payable and expenses have a proper flow. And if I open this document actually outlines this company's process in detail.
Kevin, I hate to interrupt, but we are still just seeing your sustainability report. If you've moved over to the GRC workspace, I would share that window.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to hop back over here. So I'm just sharing that the accounts payable, all these controls here are rolled up into our accounts payable process, payable and expenses. If I click this process, it'll see that there's a process narrative that describes how this process works in detail. Now, this is very useful, but it can be quite difficult to understand because it's very verbose. What is very useful, though, is to visualize this in a flowchart. Not often this is what auditors will ask of our customers. So what we've done is we've created an all-new flowchart visualizer. This is an ability for you to give Workiva AI access to this flowchart, this process narrative, and generate a flowchart of that process narrative on your behalf. So I'm going to type this be flowchart, accounts payable, and expenses. And I can say use existing accounts payable and expenses narrative flow narrative. This will reuse that. And while this will be running for a few minutes, in the meantime, I can show you what one looks like when it's finished. Down here, we have our ELC process that already has a flowchart associated with it. And you can see how it took a process narrative and creates a flowchart dynamically for you. And my favorite part about this is the ability for you to walk through this in real time with that process team. And if there's a new risk that comes up, I can simply drag a risk out and map it directly to a step in that process. And I can go ahead and associate it with a new risk, or I can create a brand new risk right from here instead of having to go and create it elsewhere. This whole process is meant to have AI help you reduce the amount of time it takes to create assets that help with shared understanding. And I apologize for the bump earlier. I just want to share that what I was describing earlier was that if I open the risk and control matrix and I open Workiva AI, I can click Add Knowledge Base and click Risk and Controls and ask it questions like, please analyze my risk and control matrix for duplicative controls. And you can see here that it reviewed it and got a bunch of examples of where there maybe are major duplicative controls identified, and with examples of recommendations on how to consolidate them, allowing you to spend less time analyzing and more time adjusting to make things more efficient. Now with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Jana. Sorry for the hiccup again, and I'll pass it to you.
No worries, Kevin. I appreciate you kind of taking us through those live and in action. And I think you probably know better than anyone that by no means is where the team is stopping. So you reviewed there, I think, 5 to 6 new innovations, and there's a heck of a lot more on its way. So I'm going to shift us to planned innovation. So the way to think about this is what the team is actively developing for delivery in the next 1 to 2 quarters, which is really exciting. The theme here is around collaborative agentic augmentation, which is really using AI not just to inform your work, but to actively participate in it. So across Workiva AI, our focus for this next phase is pretty clear if you review what's on the slide here. We want to make the experience more useful, more specialized, and more responsive to the way that you work. And that is going to start with our Intelligent Companion, which is our global chat experience and integrated experiences. We have heard feedback loud and clear, and we're acting on it. Expect significant enhancements over the next 2 quarters, resulting in higher quality conversations. So like faster chat with streaming responses, greater transparency into AI's thought process with show thinking, more proactive assistance with suggestions, and more personalized collaboration with custom intelligence. And custom intelligence really gives you the ability to create persistent, task-specific knowledge bases that the Intelligent Companion can reference in conversation. Think about like a Gemini Gem, right, or a ChatGPT project. Beyond the core Intelligent Companion experience, we're also expanding our fit-for-purpose capabilities within the specialized packages for more domain-specific work. In sustainability, we're introducing simplified ESRS intelligence to help clarify disclosure requirements using embedded intelligence grounded in relevant knowledge. In finance, we're planning innovations like benchmarking insights to compare disclosures against your peer groups and identify similarities and gaps more automatically, and a 10K tile agent to perform data consistency checks across financial data. And of course, in GRC, we've not forgotten, expect things like Evidence Analyzer designed to evaluate population and sample evidence for completeness and flag potential issues. Overall, this roadmap for this period reflects really 2 priorities: continuing to improve the day-to-day AI experience based on your feedback, and introducing more targeted intelligence that can support high-value work across finance, audit and risk, and sustainability. But Kevin, I'll hand it over to you because it's you and the team working on it every day to talk a little bit more about these innovations.
Of course. So there's a few that I want to highlight to you that are really, really powerful. The first is the Intelligent Companion enhancements. In fact, you've already seen them. Every demo I did today is using this. And so the important thing I want to keep in mind is that what we launched at Amplify in 2025 in the United States was this companion experience that allowed AI to be a side-by-side collaborator with you. But now what we're launching is a dramatic improvement to how well it thinks through the work with you. Previously, it gave you responses that were well thought through, but we just took it to a whole new level. Now what you'll do is you're going to get answers that are significantly faster response because we're actively streaming the responses back to you in real time, a lot like you'd expect from a flagship AI provider. And then in addition to that, we are working to make it possible for Workiva, for you to understand how AI even got to this thinking behind its response in the first place. You know, you might be familiar with responses in Workiva AI today, and if you're not, there's no ability to know what the thinking behind it was that delivered the response. It was a bit of a black box. And one of our core tenets of building products at Workiva is transparency. You know, we expect to be able to provide we expect to build products that allow you to help others understand transparently what happened and in what order, so that you can understand, you can help explain to auditors or others who are helping with change management. And so we'll have the ability to show thinking as well as, and that allows to increase the accuracy of validation of the responses. And then lastly, the second to last thing is where it allows us to do some pretty powerful new capabilities we haven't been made possible before. And today I'd like to show you one of those. And I promise to show the right screen today. Hopping over here. Up in the top right-hand corner, you can see a tab called Suggestions. Now, this feature is currently in an early adopter program. It's not available to everybody, but if you're interested, please reach out. It is the ability for you to run a set of features, a set of AI-specific checks on your document. And it does take maybe a minute or two to run because it is quite powerful. So I already pre-ran it on the letter to the CEO section. And I specifically asked to look for clarity and conciseness checks. And what it did here is that it generated a number of different suggested changes, that I could accept or reject in order to improve the clarity and conciseness of this whole section. Now, what this means is that when our customers often send documents for review to other reviewers to help identify these types of things. And that review requires human effort from others. What we've done is we've given you an on-demand AI-powered reviewer that you can run through the document first before sending it out and getting some obvious feedback from your providers, such as potentially even cutting out the words, "We are uniquely positioned to be," and instead just have as their trusted partner. You could hit accept. Or down here, you could say together, you can remove that and just have it be we're. So this is a way for AI to safely contribute back to the document so that you can have it make edits on your behalf without you needing to be worried about how AI could change the document. And if you're wondering if it respects track changes, I just want to say, yes, it does. So if I hop back over here and I make this suggestion here, you'll notice that even though AI made that contribution, it's still updated it with track changes for a final approval by a document owner. So hopping back over to the presentation. The next is I want to describe custom intelligence. I'm not going to go too long on this because Jana did a great job describing this, but one of the things that we're learning about the value that AI can provide is the ability to do deep research on a collection of context and information. And it can do that today using information that's on the web. But what about information that you have housed within your organization, such as peer research? You could bring in the last 5 years of all of your peers' PDF annual reports. But then the question is, how can you do deep research on that? We're creating an ability for you to bring those files into what's called a custom intelligence. It's a bucket of files that allow AI to do deep, grounded research on the content within to get you grounded, accurate responses on exactly what the contents in this file say, so that you don't have to do that yourself. It's a lot like what I showed you with SEC filing intelligence or ISSB intelligence or ESRS intelligence. The word custom is important here. It's customized for you. You can do deep research intelligence on files that you provide. Next is benchmarking insights. So as you can see with where we're going with SEC filing intelligence, and even with custom intelligence, is we want to make it easy for you to be able to extract insights from files, specifically say from peer research, to help you benchmark your company's progress against others. But the process of doing that, it can be as manual as you'd like it to be. For example, you could ask one question yourself for every competitor, like you saw in my earlier demo. But what we want to do is we want to make it easier for you to explicitly define your peers and then ask questions and have AI automatically do all the extraction for you across all of your peers and come up with reusable insight groups. And the whole point here is to help generate actual insights for you to use as inputs to your annual report process or your sustainability reporting process or any process that you'd be looking for to automate there, to help with deep research automation. Next is a feature called Internal Tie-Out Agent. Now, the goal of this AI feature is to help automate data consistency checks across your financial documents and associated schedules using AI agents. So tie-outs are a very tedious end of the process for financial reporting. They often are done under last minute pressures. And any help we can do to help our customers feel less pressure getting that work done in less time is something we want to help with. So we've done is we created this agent to help flag potential mismatches instantly so that you can catch errors before they reach reviewers or regulators. And it can also help you review and resolve those issues with full context of the document links, target alerts tied to each specific line item. And the way that this will work will be having AI be able to help contribute back to the document to help tie out the document as well, to help with streamlining the tie-out process. And the last one I want to walk through is for intelligent GRC. And this one's called Evidence Analyzer. So the point of this capability is to help accelerate evidence testing, to help you save hundreds of hours by automatically reviewing attached files for the evidence that was provided, to help identify the correlated facts, to confirm that the facts that were being requested are actually hosted within those attached files. And the whole goal here is to help enhance data accuracy and reliability by minimizing the amount of human error with AI-powered screening. And lastly, it's meant to help keep auditors in control by reviewing and adjusting to AI suggestions before confirming final decisions. At the end of the day, when in GRC, when a piece of evidence is provided to you, we want to remove the amount of effort it takes to validate that the evidence actually matches with what was requested. And with that, I'm excited to pass it back to Jonna.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. That is super exciting. And we even got a bonus demo in there. So thank you for that. Now I'm going to shift us forward, right? So now we're going to start talking about things 2+ quarters out. And it's where I'm going to ask for the most grace in the conversation today. It's our intent here at Workiva to be as transparent as we possibly can around our development and priorities as it pertains to AI, right? But as we all likely know on this call, AI is changing by the day. So things could always change here, but these are going to be a sample kind of selection of what we're in active discovery around, right? A lot of these things we've heard from you directly. And so we want to talk a little bit about how we're evaluating and considering these for future development. You're really going to start to see what we call intelligent orchestration come together here. This is where AI moves from assisting an individual task to coordinating entire workflows under your oversight and control, right? You're going to see us to inform that, deepen contextual intelligence with new third-party data sets, broaden our agentic ecosystem, and continue to automate complex multi-step processes across finance, audit, and risk and sustainability, right? That's the dream. These future innovations will extend what's possible with Workiva AI, ideally driving even greater speed, accuracy, and assurance across your landscape. But Kevin, you're on the team, right? So you're talking about this all the time. I'd love for you to share a little bit about how you and the team are thinking about these elements. And if you have anything you'd love the audience to kind of understand about this, let us know.
Yeah, I'd love to. So simply put, the features that we've built today really sit in little home bases throughout the product. So if you want to use AI suggestions, for example, you'd navigate yourself over to the AI suggestions feature and you could use it. If you wanted to use the AI flowchart generator, you'd hop over to GRC and you'd click on a process and you'd have the ability to generate an AI flowchart right there. In other words, you are still have the hands on the wheel. Now, we envision as AI becomes more prevalent in the platform and the valuable use cases increase, we see a natural evolution where it may actually be more efficient for you and actually saves you quite a lot of time to allow AI to take the wheel and bring you along for the ride, as opposed to you bringing it along for the ride. And so a lot of what you're seeing in this innovations in development are in that realm. So our agentic platform is essentially the platform we're just in the process of standing up that we're going to be releasing here in the next three months that allows AI to act agentically on your behalf, whether that's in response to a prompt, it actually goes out and collects more data on your behalf that's relevant, or even uses a tool. It actually uses AI suggestions on your behalf to get you an answer. Or it could be simply a partner that you could say, can you go off and create a task for me to assign it to Jonna for this? And they can just take that context and actually do that on your behalf. It doesn't require you to have to navigate to the tasks anymore and click it and maybe click like a sparkles icon to autofill it. You can simply ask AI to take the lead and bring you along for the ride. And the same thing is true for AI connectivity. That falls right in that bucket as well as data and intelligence. A big part of what will allow you to trust, and this is very realistic and understandable, that to trust AI's responses and is ensuring that its responses and the way it takes the lead is grounded in what you would want. So we want to continue to bring in your personalized data as well as the frameworks that you're going to be audited against, for example, so that AI is taking the lead in a way that would respect how you'd want things done in the first place, even if it was with another collaborator, like a human collaborator. And then in addition, we have our integrated experiences. As you saw, I demoed how AI works within documents as well as in WData. A part of what we're doing is we're adding AI interoperability with the rest of the platform. We're currently in the process of adding a spreadsheets companion, just like you saw the documents, as well as the presentations. And we're looking to add that to many others, such as processes, GRC, several functions of GRC, et cetera. So that way, no matter where you go in the platform, AI can be there to assist you if you'd like it to help take the lead.
That is incredibly exciting, Kevin. I would love to see some emojis from folks because this is some big rock items that could really shift how you're interacting with the platform day to day when we think about this future forward vision that Kevin is articulating. So thank you for walking us through that. And it is our commitment to share with you and bring you along for the ride as we continue to discover and firm up plans around initiatives like these. So stay tuned for more information here. I would be remiss if I didn't hit on a couple of resources. So we're going to hit on a couple of those because we had a hearty conversation today around, what's available, what's coming here in the near term, and where we're really looking to develop the solution over time. So I do want to let you know that we have some very quick hit demo videos available in our demo center. If you're, struggling a little bit with how to apply Workiva AI to your critical daily complex workflows, check out really quick 2 to 3 minute ways that you can apply it for fast acceleration and automation of day-to-day manual laden tasks. I also want to let you know that, reach out to your account representative and let them know if you are not enabled today. Again, because Workiva AI is embedded into the governed architecture and platform that you already trust, it's a safe space to experiment and to try out applying AI to the work that you do day in and day out. And to make it easy, we've even preloaded some resources right there in your interface. So if you want to download any and share with colleagues, please do so now. And before we wrap up, I just wanted to give you a quick opportunity. Again, a lot of content was covered today. If we didn't answer your question in the chat and you believe it deserves a more hearty conversation, let us know and we will reach out to you, schedule that and have that conversation. We want to make sure that you're equipped with confidence that we're driving this roadmap in the right direction for your business and your work, because at the end of the day, that's what we care about. And then, of course, on that note, I want to thank you for attending today. On behalf of Kevin, myself, and the entire, Workiva AI team, we're here to make you shine in your day-to-day role and make your work easier. So appreciate the time and attention today. If you have requested that someone reach out, we will do so shortly. And if we didn't answer your question, please expect a follow-up post-event. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.